Okay, so this will be a video as far as how to squat if you don't know how to squat already. A lot of what I've found online has been just ways to perfect the squat or add load to it if you want to do that, but there's not much as far as how to actually begin doing it if no one's ever showed you and you don't know how. So this is where we'll start for that. And so there's a couple things that can limit your ability to squat. One, range of motion of the hips or the knees or the ankles, that can all limit it. We'll start with the basics first, and also this is going to go in a progressive way as far as you can do this, this, and this, but maybe not this. Okay, so that's where you need to work on it. So first thing, this would be called just like a 6-point rocking pattern, and this would start 6 points, hands, knees, and feet. So from here, just looking right up, you would come back towards your heels, and from this, if you were to look from about a 90-degree turn, this would be pretty much a squat, just in a different orientation with no load put on it. So pretty easy, and most people can do it. So that starts transferring over to the question of, well, why, if I can do it like this, can I not do it in a standing loaded position, which we'll get to also. But from here, if you can do this, your knees and your hips are okay, your ankles might not be. And what we're heading towards would be just a full squat right here, which would be all the way down to the ground with the heels flat on the floor. And in this position, you can see, yeah, my back is rounded. In an unloaded squat, which is a resting position, that's fine. There is some difference though. Once you add some load to the front, as in a goblet squat right here, the back is going to be fairly straight, which means in a straight line, but it is tilted forward some. That's to keep your balance, and this will also limit your depth a little bit. You can't come down quite as far. Same would go if you had a barbell on your back, okay? Not quite as far down, but the spine is neutral or straight there. So, coming from that, if you're able to do the 6-point rocking drill, the next place you would head would be what's called a doorknob drill, and this is from Dan John, so all credit to him. I just haven't seen a video of him doing it, so here it is here. So basically you're standing about arm's length from a doorknob, and as far as what happens with your feet here, where do they go? For a basic squat, they're about, if you were to get down and do a vertical leap for the ceiling or whatever, you're going to end up pretty close. The center of your heels right there are about shoulder width apart. Most people it's between 15 to 17 inches, and the feet are turned out a little bit. That's a very individual thing, so play around with it. If they feel uncomfortable, try some different positions. So once you've got your basic width there, heels shoulder width apart, toes turned out a little bit, you're going to hold onto a doorknob to keep your balance and keep your chest upright, and just squat down as deep as you can and push your knees apart, okay? So something like that. Chest is up, looking straight ahead, and it's a pretty easy stretch to do right here. Although if you haven't been in this position in 5 years, 10 years ever, it's going to be pretty strenuous and also cause a lot of soreness, so don't go crazy and do 50 of these. So down here, down as far as you can go, and then just stand back up. And what you're looking for there is, from this orientation, the knee should be aligned over the foot, like so. Okay, knee is directly over the foot, and important part there is for it not to collapse inwards and collapse the arch. Okay, so I'm on carpet, so it's a little hard to see, but if the knee comes in, all the way it comes on the big toe and the arch collapses, the knee has to stay out enough where you've still maintained an arch in your foot right there. Okay, that's the important part. And so, let's say you've done the doorknob drill, you've done the 6-point rocking. Are you able to continue? Who knows? Maybe, maybe not. What we get to next is how ankle flexibility is going to limit the squat. And with this, you know, a board would work just the same. I've got flip-flops because I already had them. The purpose here is to elevate your heel to illustrate the effect that ankle mobility is going to have on this. So if I do normal squat here, I've got long legs, so it's a little harder to counterbalance the weight. So I'm leaned forward a little bit. Someone with shorter femurs and a little longer torso, they would naturally be a little more upright torso angle. So to look at the difference there, we'll have these. This is going to mimic having some extra ankle mobility, which lets the knees travel forward, and all of a sudden I'm squatting more upright, like you would see, for example, a baby squat. You know, babies typically have shorter legs, longer torsos, and a big proportional head to counterbalance them upright. So, is your ankle flexibility enough to do a full squat? If you're able to do one with your feet and your knees together, it's pretty safe to say that yes, your ankle mobility is fine. So, there. This means the knees are able to travel far enough forward to counterbalance you and back up. If you're not able to do that, you know, get your little heel risers here again. Go for it. And for a lot of people, it will be easier. There. Notice the more upright torso angle as to what we had before. So, coming from that, do you have enough ankle mobility to do it or not? So, you'll come over here, and if you come near a wall right here, you can kneel down. And the test for this, I've seen a couple different standards on this. For the functional movement screen stuff, they say 5 inches away from the wall right here is where you want to be. I don't know if you necessarily need all that. If you're unsure, go back to the test we did before. If you can not squat down like that without losing your balance, but you can if you got the block under your heel, then obviously you need more ankle mobility to do the squat. So as far as testing that, you'll be down here, half kneeling position. You know, I think 4 inches is a reasonable starting point here. So if you set your hand down, that's probably going to be 3.5 inches there away from the wall. So I'm at about 4 right here, and with your heel down and the knee out, so the arch isn't collapsing, you'll come forward, and I can just barely touch right there. That's about 4 inches from the wall. So for me, yeah, that's enough ankle mobility. For you, depending on the length of your bones and your foot and whatnot, that might be enough, it might not. So you can use that to check for a rough guide. If you're about 4 inches away from the wall with your big toe and your knee can touch the wall, that's a pretty decent point to be at. If you have to come forward to about here, that's 2 inches or so, then you're going to have some issues and it is going to limit you in what you can do. So from that, you can also do some drills right here. As far as just pushing the knee forward with the heel down, you can come directly forward. You can push outward over the little toe. And you can also push inward right there. So once you're able to do the doorknob drill and that, you can come down and try just a full basic squat right here. Same heel position, toes out a little bit. Just come down, and you should be able to push your knees apart with your hands some here. Keep everything lined up nicely. And once you're able to do that easily, we can look where we were before as far as the goblet squat. Also, from Dan John, there's plenty of videos of him doing this, but as far as a recap, feet are again the same position, heels shoulder width apart, toes out a little bit, like this, like you were holding a big goblet, right up here. And you're coming down, keeping your chest up till the tips of your elbows touch the inside of your knees. Back up. Okay? The advantage of this is you don't have a lot to think about. Okay? So all you have to think, tips of my elbows are going to touch the inside of my knees, and back up. There. So that's your basic squat. Once you want to move beyond that, yeah, load it up. Heavier goblet squats, double kettlebell front squats. You can do one on each side to test symmetry of strength between sides. So with that, you would have, you know, one kettlebell right here and empty here, coming down make sure you're able to do on both sides without any sort of twist or sway to each side. That's an indication, you know, that hip's weaker than the other. You need to work on it a little bit. And from that point, you can of course load up front squats, barbell squats, whatever. But that's not what this is about today. This is basic mobility and strength needed to do the squat. And there's also the potential is some people, you know, they're simply not strong enough to get down from the doorknob squat. And you know, if that's you, if you're getting down here and you know you just feel like you don't have any control, you can get a chair, pull it behind you, get a step stool, something like that, and slowly decrease the height of that. That's if that's you and you're only strong enough to do that, that's the only way you're gonna have to get through that. So just successively lower the height of that step. And like I said, if you got enough mobility to do that 6-point rocking drill, you've got enough to do a full squat. So just keep decreasing the height of that step and practicing at it. And that's about all I can think of right now. So that's that.